নমস্কাৰ ছাত্ৰ ছাত্ৰীসকল দশম মানৰ সকলো ছাত্ৰ ছাত্ৰীক আজি এই ভিডিঅ'টোলৈ মই স্বাগতম জনাইছোঁ। আজি সাপ্লিমেণ্টাৰী ৰিডাৰ ফুটপ্ৰিণ্টছ উইদাউট ফিট কিতাপৰ পৰা ফুটপ্ৰিণ্টছ উইদাউট ফিট পাঠটিৰেই প্ৰশ্ন উত্তৰ আলোচনা কৰিম। প্ৰথমতে HSLC কুৱেশ্যন এনচাৰ। এইখিনিতে কওঁ যে যিসকল ছাত্ৰ ছাত্ৰীয়ে ছাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰা নাই এই চেনেলটোত গলেজ এডুকেশ্যন সোনকালে ছাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰি ল'ব, কিয়নো পৰীক্ষা ওচৰত আছে আৰু মই গ্ৰামাৰ HSLCত অহা গ্ৰামাৰখিনিও মই ইয়াত আপলোড কৰিম আৰু লগতেই বহুতখিনি প্ৰশ্ন উত্তৰ দিয়াৰ চেষ্টা কৰি আছোঁ। বাকীখিনি পাঠ যিমান থাকি গৈছে সেইখিনিৰ পাঠৰ প্ৰশ্ন উত্তৰ মই দি যাম। আৰম্ভ কৰোঁ। প্ৰথমতে HSLCত অহা কুৱেশ্যন এনচাৰবিলাক। Who was Griffin 2015 আহিছিলে। Who was Griffin? How did he become invisible? Why did Mrs. Hall find him eccentric? Griffin was a brilliant scientist. He became invisible by swallowing concoction of certain rare drugs that made his body transparent but solid like glass. The arrival of a stranger at an inn in winter was in itself a strange occurrence. In addition, the stranger had an uncommon appearance. In spite of Mrs. Hall's repeated attempts to be friendly, he would respond in a closed manner. He told her that he had no desire to talk and wanted to live in solitude. He did not wish to be disturbed in his work. For all these strange reasons, she regarded him as an eccentric scientist. 2016 আহিছিলে. Briefly describe the extraordinary behavior of Mrs. Hall's furniture. Or what extraordinary things happen in the inn? Answer. After Griffin occupied a room in the inn of Ipping, many extraordinary things happened. One morning, the landlord and his wife of the inn found that the door of the room of Griffin was open. They peeped around the room and found none in the room. They saw that the clothes and bandages of Griffin were lying about in the room. Mrs. Hall heard a sniff close to her ears, but she found nobody. A moment later, the hat on the bedpost leapt up and dashed itself into her face. The bedroom chair started moving and attacked them. As they turned away in terror, the chair pushed them out of the room. Mrs. Hall almost fell down the stairs in hysterics. Question number 3. What did Griffin do in the Drury Lane? Narrate Griffin's experience in Drury Lane. 2017 আৰু 2020 আহিছিলে। এনেকৈও আহিব পাৰে। Why did Griffin go to the Drury Lane? What did he do there? Answer. After Griffin's adventure in the London store, he decided to try the stock of a theatrical company. His hope was to find some new clothes and something that would hide the space above his shoulders. Shivering with cold, he hurried to Drury Lane, the center of the theatrical world. Soon he found a suitable shop. He made his way upstairs in the same invisible state. After a little while, he came out wearing bandages round his forehead, dark glass, false nose, big bushy side whiskers, and a large hat. To escape without being seen, he attacked the shopkeeper from behind. Then he robbed him of all the money he could get. Question number 4, 2018 আহিছিলে. Why did Griffin become homeless wanderer? Why did he slip into the big London store, and what did he do there? Answer. Griffin was a lawless person. His landlord disliked him and tried to get rid of him. In revenge, Griffin set fire to his house. He had to remove his clothes to get away without being noticed. This was why he had become a homeless wanderer without clothes and money. The air was bitterly cold and he could not do without clothes. Instead of walking about the streets, he slipped into the big London store for warmth. Inside the store, he broke open boxes and wrappers and fitted himself with warm clothes, shoes, an overcoat, and a wide-brimmed hat. He ate cold meat, coffee, meal with sweets and wine. Finally, he settled down to sleep on a pile of quilts. Question number 5. How and why did Griffin come to the village of Ipping? Why does Mrs. Hall find the scientist eccentric? Second part to answer to already ওপৰত দিয়া আছে, ইয়াতো মই দিছোঁ। Answer: Griffin was eager to get away from crowded London store as he had robbed a shopkeeper, so he took a train to the village of Ipping. He said to Mrs. Hall that his reason for coming to Ipping was a desire for solitude. So এই next part to মই অলৰেডি ওপৰত দিয়া আছে, so সেইখিনি হয়. Now textual question answer যিখিনি পাঠত আছে প্ৰশ্নখিনি. How did the invisible man first become visible? Griffin was completely invisible until he happened to step in some mud, which caused him to leave footmarks as he walked. Two boys noticed these footmarks and followed him as long as the prints were visible. Griffin, after getting rid of them, went into a big London store to put on some warm clothes. After the store was shut, he got himself dressed in an overcoat and a wide-brimmed hat. He also put on a pair of shoes. This made him visible to the people who came to work at the store the next day. Why was he wandering the streets? এই প্ৰশ্নৰ উত্তৰ ওপৰত দিয়া আছে, so I will not read it out. Why does Mrs. Hall find the scientist eccentric? This question also. এই কুৱেশ্যনৰো উত্তৰ দিয়া আছে ওপৰত. What curious episode occurs in the study? Answer: a clergyman and his wife were awakened by some strange noises in the study very early in the morning. Creeping downstairs, they heard the chink of money being taken from the clergyman's desk. He and his wife looked under the desk and behind the curtains and even up the chimney. There was not a sign of anybody, yet the desks had been opened and the housekeeping money was missing. What extraordinary things happen in the inn? Question number same as question number, answer number 2. Griffin was rather a lawless person. Comment: it is rightly said that Griffin was a lawless person. A person who follows law and order of the country cannot think of damaging others' property. But Griffin set fire to the house and became a homeless wanderer. He also robbed a shopkeeper of all the money he could find. He also stole the housekeeping money from the clergyman's desk. Griffin also attacked Mrs. Hall when she entered his room. All these activities and instances prove that he was not a law-abiding citizen. Question number 7. How would you assess Griffin as a scientist? Griffin was an intelligent scientist. He discovered how to make a human body invisible by swallowing certain rare drugs that made his body transparent as a glass. But instead of using it for the betterment of the civilization, he used it for his own benefit and gains. He did hurt others, stole, and even burned the home of his proprietor. He was an unethical scientist.